Lolly ho, internet, this is the Orpig coming to you. I know that it's been over a year since I made a video, but I really didn't have anything to make a video about. And 2018 was not a good year for me, as you can see, if you can't tell. I've gained a lot of weight. And so I wanted to make a video about that to let you know about what I've discovered and what I've learned. So in I guess it started. So my lowest point I ever got was 205, but I was more comfortable in the 215 to 225 range. In 2018, at the beginning, I decided to try a ketogenic diet, no carbs, right? So I did that, and everything was going good. And once I eliminated the carbs, again, this is me. Everybody is different. Keto diets do work, but this was my mistake, and this is what I learned. When you cancel out the carbs, once you get it out of your system, which takes about 2 weeks to a month, you really don't crave the carbs anymore. However, I'm the type of person that even though I'm not craving it, I still want a treat, right? I still want to go to Baskin Robbins. I still want to eat cake every now and then, just not every day. So I would do that. Well, when I would break my diet and eat those carbs, I would put on like 5 pounds in one day. No, I wasn't going outrageous with it, like, oh, well, you must have ate a whole cake. No, it wasn't nothing like that. It probably wasn't a reasonable portion either, like a normal person, right? But it was somewhere in between, let's say. So what would happen is, my body, since it's not used to having sugar, it's not used to having carbs, it would immediately just turn that to fat and store it. I guess because it had no idea. I don't know. I don't know the science behind it. All I know is that when I did a ketogenic diet, and this is me, if I broke it, I put on a lot of weight. Also, I really started craving carbs after that, right? So it was really hard to go back. I think what happened was I did the ketogenic diet. I think I did it for around 2 months, let's say. I broke it. Then I went back on it for like 2 weeks. I broke it. Then I went back for like a week. I broke it. And then I just continued to spiral out of control. Now, one of the mistakes I made being on a ketogenic diet was that I increased the amount of food I was eating. I don't know if this was because I was craving more substance because I'm not having carbs or whatever, but I started craving more food, and I figured, well, hey, if I'm not eating carbs and they're so bad for you and not eating sugar, I can eat the extra food. And so I did. And I put on, I think I put on anywhere from 8 to 10 pounds doing that. And I was like, okay, no big deal. I've increased my food intake. But for me, it just wasn't sustainable. Okay. Number one, like I said, I want my treats every now and then, and that would cause me to put on a mass amount of weight. Number two, it wasn't sustainable for me and my family. All right. And I'm going to do another video on that. That gives me an idea for one. But let's just say it's hard when not every member of your family is doing a ketogenic diet. Okay. So those are things you have to consider. I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm saying why I failed. Okay. And I acknowledge this and I recognize it. From there, I moved on and decided to try a carnivore diet. The carnivore diet is where you only eat meat, okay? Or you can eat other things as well. You can still eat dairy. You can eat basically it's no carbs again, but it doesn't really focus on having a well-balanced meal of vegetables and stuff. Like it's more about eating eggs. You can do dairy. Some people don't, but you could do eggs, milk, cheese, or you could just do if it flies or runs on the ground, you eat it. So you could eat rabbit, duck, pig, deer, cow, whatever, okay? All animals. So I tried doing that for a while. Again, it was the same thing as keto, basically. I wanted to eat more and more food, I guess because my body just wasn't getting the minerals or vitamins that it wanted or needed. And so I would up my intake of food. I didn't put on a ton of weight, but I still gained weight doing that. I would say I put on another 10 or 20 pounds. Once I realized it wasn't happening, and by the way, this whole time, I'm still doing intermittent fasting, right? So I'm doing ketogenic and I'm doing intermittent fasting. I'm doing carnivore and I'm doing intermittent fasting. So I've never gotten rid of intermittent fasting, okay? Even at this point, when I completely just say it's not working, I'm just going to go back to eating whatever I want. I still do intermittent fasting. I think that's the only thing that saved me from blowing up to over 500 pounds. Okay, so right now I'm at 285. And like I said, I was at 215 to 225 when I would do all my videos. You can see I don't have any veins showing in my arms. I can see my clavicles aren't showing as much. So I've put on substantial weight. My clothes are all a lot tight. I'm at the threshold of having to go buy a new wardrobe, right? So when I go back to, okay, this isn't working, like for me, keto works for people. Carnivore works for people. I'm not saying these diets don't work, but you have to recognize your body. You have to realize what's working for you and what's not. And I guess I felt like people were saying, sometimes you have to change up your diet. You have to try different things. Your body's going to get adjusted to it, and it's not going to adapt the same way, blah, 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 blah. So I felt like it's good to change up my diet. Also, I could hear nothing but bad things about sugar. Like, sugar's terrible. Carbs are terrible. This is stuff you just need to eliminate anyway. Okay, I get it. I'm just not set for that. Maybe I'm not ready for that. I'm undisciplined. Whatever it may be. Those diets are not for me. They're good for people, and I encourage you to go out and try them and work it, because I've seen people lose a ton of weight doing ketogenics or carnivore, not so much. That's kind of a new one that people are skeptical about because of the damage it could do to your body with overprocessing all that meat. But anyway, I digress. The fact is I'm not saying these diets don't work. I'm just saying, as we've all said, diets are different for different people, and you have to find what works for you. So eating those diets, I increased my amount of food, which means I basically stretched my stomach back out, and I should have never did that. So when I went back to trying to do my regular diet, which had been about anywhere from 6 to 8 months that I had been off of my diet that got me down to 215, 225, I'm sad to say I forgot, my basis. Like, even now, I'm still like, cut the carbs. I'm still constantly trying to cut the carbs. Don't eat the bread. Don't eat a sandwich. Just eat the meat. I'm still trying to do that. I don't think it's going to hurt me or anything, but I realized that's not what I was doing before. What I did before was cut my portions down. So that's what I've started to do now. I've already lost 8 pounds since doing it. And I'm well on my way. So I guess my videos will be a documentary of my diet progress again, going from 295 to whatever I managed to get to, which, fingers crossed, is back down to 225, 220 at the very least. If I can get lower than that, then so be it. I quit running. That didn't help any, just doing strictly gym. So I need to start hitting the pavement again, start running. But I'm not quite there yet because I'm trying to adjust to this diet. The one thing is, like in the beginning of my video, the biggest thing is eat for the body you want, not for the body you have. And I was eating for the body I had, not for the body I want. So I've cut my portion controls way down. Remember, your stomach is only the size of a closed fist. That's what I tell myself. We went out to eat. I got a wrap. I only ate half of it. Ate a couple of things of little sprouts of broccoli, and that was it. The good thing about it, again, is that you save money doing this. You don't need as much food. One of the big inspirations, I think, is like Henry Rollins. That dude is a maniac, right? He wakes up and knocks out like 20 pull-ups, and then he'll go write some songs, some poetry, whatever, then go knock out 20 more pull-ups. And like all he eats in a day is like a couple of nuts maybe. Maybe he sits down at night and eats like a 6-ounce steak. Your body does not need as much food as what we're told. That's what he says. That's what Henry Rollins says. No, he's not a doctor or anything, but he's an old guy now who's managed to stay fit almost his entire life. Very extreme, very educated. I look to him for inspiration. Look him up. I don't think he's a bad person to follow and read into. But he says, and I believe him, we're trained that we need all this food, right? We need breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We need to, you need to hit these portions and everything. And the body is an incredible machine, and you just don't need that much fuel. So I've cut back on my supply of fuel, right? Just like I was thinking earlier, if you got a big house, well, you're going to be like, well, we need more furniture. We need more stuff. We need to go out. We need to fill this room and that room. And that's what I did. I increased my house size and I went and bought all this stuff. But now, you know what? It's time to downsize. It's time to simplify things. It's time to get me just what I need. And so I am going to eat a lot less, and my body is going to say, whoa, okay, we don't need all this space, or we can't afford all this space. We need to get rid of this fat because we're not intaking the amount of energy for all this fat. So we're going to have to get rid of it. And that's what I want. So I'm eating for the body that I want, and not for this disgusting body that I've acquired once again. But I'm going to work on it. You work on it. Like I said, I got a couple more ideas for videos, but the one thing I noticed was that my videos were repeating themselves. I was saying the same thing over and over in different ways, and I don't want to do that. You know, I really don't. I want to do new content, and if I don't have anything, then I don't have anything. But this is something substantial. This is going to be a different year for me. We'll see how it goes. I hope you know, it's a new year, make New Year resolutions. I don't really buy all that, whatever. But let's have a better year than 2018 like I did, okay? Your year was probably great, and make it greater. But my year wasn't that great, and I'm going to get back on track in 2019, and I've started it up. So I'll check you later. You have a good one. Bye.